Well, I thought I had that headset right, but I think I'm going to move it up a little bit, tilt it up a little bit yet. I've been messing around with what angle I want to have it at. I guess we'll do it there because I used to want you to be able to see my guitar. I guess it doesn't matter. But then as soon as I step back, it falls away. The lens is way different than on the LG that I had. It's a great lens though. So there's something I know I can do, you know, to get, I'm going to put it down a bit though, and I want to get back far enough that I can see my hands. That I'm going to take my LG K4 and use it to record audio on my usual way of recording audio, which is by strapping it into the guitar strap right here, there, and then it's always a balanced sound for whatever's coming out of that, although it can vary with my voices, and you also get the sound of the strings. So it's a particular sound that's not actually what I'm hearing, because I'm hearing this. So I'm often surprised at the results, kind of, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's good. Anyways, so it's just an audio thing. Then I'd have this track and the audio track from this to mix. But to take the time to mix it and all, is it really worth it? I just record raw. And I don't know, in post, maybe somebody can make these all sound more like real audio, you know, but maybe there's better technology for me to get. Anyway, this is what I have for now. I'm grateful. About that kind of head, it's not changing that. So here's what's going on. All the light, oh, they shone down sharp and cold. Oh, the thin white line stretched from coast to coast. Sunlight saw the northern sky, oh, I saw the fires in the west. Oh, I said, oh Lord, oh, I have seen, oh, what is the rest? In the cold hard land I was made to understand all the things that we are told we must go. Oh, must go, that all this shall be. But come on land and the sin white land, not the north nor free. Oh, cold land, well I understand we're not what we're supposed to be. Well, cold hard land, all I want is stand. Take my hand, oh, let us lake the land. All the north, oh, is more than sin white line. Oh, can't you see what lies outside your mind? Now, all the north, it shines with the sun. Oh, in the winter, it's colder than you want. Oh, yeah, well, the south is cold too. Thin white line, it's all the same to you. All the sorrow I had, all I was of the Lord instead. Cold hard land, I was man, I roamed far from home. Oh, I don't know what I would find. I found more than know. All the wind and the cold and the northern wind hauled out with my head. I said in the sin, all the dancing in the rain and the cold. All I knew, I was growing old. Cold hard land on the thin white line, I stretched in all my mind. For the soul of the land, I don't see it stand. I see a tenfold woe. Oh, where we now? Oh, this land, oh, what have we become? What we've always been, oh, not a thing, oh, that just taking me. In the cold hard land, I came to understand how much the line grows tight. Next to land of south, who are the great mouse, all one on all the land. Cold hard land, oh, I understand. That's the most lyrics that song's ever had, and it's about the thin white line is the Trans-Canada Highway. And now, speaking of the north, it lies beyond, which I've never seen except in the sky. It's the only place I've ever seen it. When I move this water somewhere more convenient. Farthest north I've been, I guess, is Prince George in Canada. So, not for winter. This is all the wrong angle now. I need to work out the better frame for this, or somehow learn my distance, get the mic for it properly, get a mic here also. My trusty little honeytone, I need to adapt it digitally. If anybody knows how to do that for me and redesign this digitally, give it a web broadcaster in it so the sound signal can go straight into a processor or amp somewhere that can fit. It's only got the 1/8 inch headphone jack, you know. Anyways, play some music, Mike. So that was Cold Hard Land. First time I played that was in the parking lot of the Kensington, I guess it's a Shoppers Drug Mart, outside the Starbucks near Kensington and Hastings, where I was headed in the rain. And there was like a stormy, dark storm clouds over the North Shore Mountains and up Indian Arm, which is what you see from that location. Whereas, you know, it's sunny to the left, to the south. The land here, I call it the narrow land. You know, it's only 20 miles wide. And so like here to the border, it's 16 miles. Downtown Vancouver to the border is 20. The ferry actually goes through the U.S. partly, through the waters. The ferry to Victoria. So we're that close. And then we have the North Shore Mountains and the Coast Mountains, the different ranges, the Coquitlam Ranges and the Douglas Ranges farther out, Mission Hills. Anyways, the narrow land, I call it, because it's compressed against Whatcom County like this. You know, there's mountains in the border and the sea, and it's dark, it's wet, and it's like the Trans-Canada. It has two ribbons, you know, three kind of with the Fraser Highway also, and different southern routes. In the south side of the river, on the north side, there's really only the one Highway 7. But the valley is like this. We can't be LA. There's no room for that here. It's happening in Surrey and Richmond, all the places. Well, Surrey will survive. I guess I'll put it that way. The things I see, you know, the inevitabilities here are ugly. I have not an offer, but yeah, some interest in moving to the Fraser Canyon. I'll move into the city if I can, but this would be like out nice on the dry side of the canyon, north of Boston Bar, very historic area, beautiful woods, lots of room for me to roam with my guitar and my flutes, and it'll have high-speed internet by the time I get there. And they get to Chilliwack a couple of times a week. There's a bus or something. So anyways, well, I might have to just suss that out. That sounds like it might be really healthy for me, I'm thinking. And it still would allow me to keep interneting and maybe even do my Patreon from there, which might be kind of cool to do, huh? Beautiful Fraser Canyon setting for a place to be. Yeah, nicer than, you know, Haney's been good to me in its way, you know, but it is time to find a new home. I have some friends here I love, you know, they'll find me. And it's not that far to come to Boston, but I'll have somewhere nice for them to come to. But people in BC, they never follow up, and you move away from another town to another, you just don't want to see the person. Even now, I have people I said call me, and they never call back, you know. Or they said they'd call, and they don't. Anyway, that's all right. It's the way this place is, but I think the canyon maybe rather than the toxic environment of the city. And I mean that in the physical way as well as the psychological and social way. Anyway, shut the hell up, Mike. Feel like playing something fun. So yeah, today, you know, I probably won't take this one house because he's got a big Staffordshire who's really friendly, but he would tend to knock me over, which is not good when you've had a new hip, right? So I wish I had a dog. See the way I play, huh? And Dion McBeth is always trying to give me picks, man. I don't know, Dion, maybe give me like 5 finger picks and we'll see what happens, okay? Let's see if you want to do that for me. I could try to play them, but I think I'd break the strings unless somebody came up with like Skookum Strong carbon fiber strings or something for me. It's like Beethoven with the piano. They'll have to re-engineer the guitar for my kind of playing. I don't bleed anymore. But this guitar has it had blood on it? Maybe, but not like my Squire or my original Tercer though. I'll get another tertiary. This one's still heavy. It's still a little bit weight for me. I wanted the tertiaries way lighter. Anyway, shut up and play my. Once you tune it. Strings get sharper. I was surprised when you do what I was doing, when you hammer strings like that, I'm literally just whacking it like this, my whole hand, thumb and fingers, you know. It makes them go sharper. Something to do with physical property of the string, it tends to tighten. You think it would loosen, but no, it does the opposite, it tightens it. That's what I say about it. I have friends who are engineers and a cousin. You know, and Justin, Chris, you know, and I think Nenad, you know, in Australia, you know, some of you guys are engineers. I think Philippe maybe too, right? You know, think about what I'm saying about I want an all-weather guitar with indestructible strings for the big claw-handed giant, you know. Beethoven, they had to invent the piano for, reinvent the piano for, so maybe I'm the guy, even though I'm a shit player, but I play it differently. I don't play it like ordinary lead, right? So it's my own problem. Someday maybe a custom guitar designed for what I need. I won't be playing outdoors much. So I'm hearing I'm losing battery, but that's fine. Child, I roamed into the wild, seeing things and marveling, and all the while a smile. I saw the dance of stars and the dance of stars and the hours roll. I was just a boy, I left behind all my toys. I read books and I dreamt my love, all the places where I once died. And I really desire no way, oh, that I never did. All I knew, all I saw, I had to make all here. And I go far away, oh, I was grown, man. I came down and I came to see, and I still did not understand. When I was a child, born young, I wandered in the hills, and there I sung of kings and nice things, and can you fall in dancing? See beyond the sea. Yeah, travel on, I must be honey, still hard to see. I know not the way yet, oh, I do not yet know where I'll be. In the canyons cold and dark or dim, the mountains far and free. Was a long, long told tale, but there's only so many hours in a day, and there's yet more time to tell. All the days that I was old, and all the days that I was young, I did not know in my water. So my battery's gone. Keeps my voice down too, so I don't have the amp really loud, so I don't have to be even louder because I can be. I still have food on the stove, which is nice. I made a nice soup. But I wanted to play some things. I hadn't played anything dark. It meant to be dark. That one wasn't dark really, for where it's gone, what that song means, you know. It's a song about knowing who you are. knowing where you've been, knowing what you saw when you were this age or that age, and understanding it all. And not understanding the world, but learning to live within it. And that hope is new. I tried in French. Something in French anyway. Quand j'étais petit, j'aimais promener vers le bois. Je n'aimais pas trop marcher le bout. Sur les eaux, on les voit, par le lac et les étangs. J'étais un jeune innocent. Quand j'ai devenu un garçon, j'aime voyager. Avant, par les livres, je m'étais. Je voudrais devenir des mille autres ponts. Non, vous les frères, jag så snart i lust. Men jag kommer ikke fra det Nordland. Vi har inget forekom. Vi har ikke året om. Men jeg var en unge mann. For en skog i går. Har pige. Har fælles og lille hår. Lille koster av i gang. Jeg vil se det med gang. Og jeg har meg. Jeg ville ta det til. Hvor jeg har sier den. Var det kom. Var igjen var det mod. For gang. Hvor jeg har ganger i Vestland. Var det pig. For fels. Tyste land. Hvor jeg skulle holde bonger. Det skulle vann. Hvor jeg sorger for sjøen. Hvor vest. Kom det oss. Kom det sår igjen. Far de kom aldri gjest. Hvor har de lært meg i form. Jeg tror kom. Jeg går, jeg pige har. So that's when I was a young child, I guess it's called. I've often just short dated time as deeping, but those lyrics, the more prophecy lyrics, they're not in them. Well, what's another prophecy? Not prophecy song, but it's a fun song. I don't do anything more. So the Big High U, I was going to sing it, but I kind of lost the point where I had to get in it. That's because I'm hungry. Yeah, the Big High U. See the Big High U. The Big High U and the Chinook jargon. Look, Chinook jargon lesson. High U means many. High U in some dialects, right? High U, wherever it is, right? But around here it's High U. And High U can also mean like a party, gathering. High U, there's a big skookum High U, like big one, right? And Chin Chin High U maybe would be like a dance party music, Chin Chin music, Chin Chin and the jargon Chin Chin. I don't know how the dialect, each people from each people, whether they were Japanese or Native or Norse or English, would pronounce it a different way. But the Chinook jargon had words that were in common. There is a theory that there is only a purely native form. Well, that's true too. Then there's also purely different kinds of white and Chinese and other forms. I imagine there's an Indo-Canadian form of it, contributions in their own area. Certainly there was Hawaiian and French, that used it, Anyways, that's enough of that history lesson. But a High U, the Big High U, meaning, the big gathering at the end of the world, the big one, not the judgment exactly. Not exactly, but like I say, it comes the revolution, everybody dance, and me being selfish and obsessed with material world needs it like I am today, having to go look at a place and send some letters off. I haven't looked at the news from France at all. I'm really curious now. I don't know what I'll be looking at after dinner. I'll play one more thing and sit down. I'm getting a little tired, but it's good to dance. It's good to play. I almost didn't play. I thought when after I came in off the porch, I thought, well, should I or shouldn't I? Yeah, I should. So whatever, I'm glad I have. So, the poetry, I'm learning to deliver poetry on the spot. I often played, open mics and just go, and just make up words that didn't fit. But now I can spin words, And what it is not caring who's listening, because they're not listening in this country anyway. So what the hell? But me for an open mic, I'm too way big and gnarly. I mean, would you have Jim Morrison at an open mic, or Tom Waits? Well, Tom Waits, because certain guys can handle the bar environment, but the talking and the chattering when I'm theater, really, when I get going, even for the happy stuff. Speaking of which, let me try and play some happy stuff. Wonder if it'll come out. All my days I was alone. All my days I was alone. That's called Party Doll, and I'm screwing it up already. You see, I should not even do my own old songs now. I'm realizing that you got to make stuff up on the spot. It's a demanding prospect. So, but it's what I got to do every time I go out and do, right? I need to do that all the time. And record, that's why I need to record, because I'll be saying things that I'll never say again, you know? And that's the interesting thing about video. It's a new kind of medium for any kind of singer, poet who can deliver on the spot. Because that's what people like, it would call it my poetry, but my sheaf of writings from 1979, 80, 81, 82, especially 1980 from the volcanic eruption onwards, the St. Helens eruption. You know, no, that wasn't poetry. It was a transcript that I happened to write down and keep for notes to be able to do it again. But it was known by heart, all 28 pages of that and other things. Now that I've forgotten them, I could deliver them again as my friend John O'Hara that I met online, and a lot of people like what I did as a poet, right? As a poet, I guess, but I'm not into the poetry readings, and I don't know how to publish, and trying to get it together for me is laborious. I've tried to have something online like a chapbook that could be sold. I used to have my poetry online for free. Anybody who would like some, please inbox me, you know. I'll send you some, you know. I need help getting them published, the same as I need help getting my music published and transcribed. Everybody needs help in this world, and I'm an old man by the time I figured out what I'm here for, and I need the team I don't know how to pull together. So help me, the internet is maybe the way to help me do that. I hope you really like what I'm doing, and you like kind of who I am, and all the words are coming from other places, you know. Same with Dark Water and Fire. Even Fireball is like, I'm not him anymore, you know. Well, yeah, I am. But I have other things to say since then, you know. And Bourbon Street's still part of me, you know. The song about I want to play Bourbon Street before I die, I still do. But I hope that the United States can become a better country in the coming year. If the United States becomes a better country, I'm all for British Columbia joining them, as opposed to having to deal with Ottawa. I almost cursed. I don't want people negating my video because I cursed, you know. But I would have wanted to curse because, you know, 2 senators in Washington and a bunch of Paso congressmen, we would get a lot more bang for our buck than we do out of Ottawa. And we'd get like pampering and like hell because we help unify the Union and bring Alaska into contact with the South. Boys want construction projects, you know what, Interstates 15, either up the Rocky Mountain Trench or up through Alberta. 25 comes up through there. What they do with 5 up through BC, who knows? You know, somehow to Prince George and Dease Lake, you know. You know, the U.S. would do things here that the natives would not like, I grant that. But, you know, that can all be ironed out with a better United States than the one that we currently have right now. The problem is so many of them are lunatics, and some of them are Christian evangelists, and there's this thing called manifest destiny that they don't care about what local people here want. They'll just do what they want. So that's how it'll be when the time comes, you know. How long it'll take for the massive migration to take, you know, 40 years before it's all 400 million people come. Why, by then, 400 million, if they don't kill each other first, right, come north. Well, at some point, I say we take the good people down, like the dreamers and the military people from the wrong color, wrong skin color, you know, like, why do you people come here, you know, you want it here when you need it here. It'd be stressful on our country, but it would be good for us, and it would bring us in people that, I guess you could say, from the kind of element that the conservatives have been trying to import their own kind for years by having, conservatives including the Liberal Party, by having the investor immigrants come in, which was a faster way for rich people to come into Canada. There was no faster way for poor people to come into Canada. And refugee life was hard. So this whole theory that they created jobs, I don't know, nobody's ever really done an honest set of economics about that. I'm fine with it now, whatever. We got sold out, same as our land got sold out, the trees sold out, same as the Indians got sold out, the natives got sold out. First Nations, and the Métis. It's complicated, BC and First Nations, very complicated. They have a better chance in U.S. courts than they do in Canadian courts, frankly. From what I know about Alaska, you know, and how the U.S. courts have been deciding in favor of the bans in the states, and that, you know, eventually the Great Sioux Nation should be on the maps the same way the Gitxaałwootsuwit Confederacy and the Mohawk Confederacy should be on the map, you know, especially the Mohawks. They fought for the Chilcoot, and they should be on the map, not just as blank spots on the highways maps, but there should be those areas, blotches saying that this area is, you know, such and so, this area is Dixon, this area is Talltown, on the road and on the tourist maps. The British Columbia's our colonial boundaries should not be how people think in terms of what BC is. It is a collection of valleys with separate native cultures in different areas, bonded and allied in different ways, and all together now, but also different kinds of whites, often colonial whites and colonial economies, you know, extraction economies that do vote. For example, Fraser Nicola voted heavily in favor of FPTP because they want more resource extraction, they want the pipeline. But that's only the white people that voted, you see, and whatever native that you wanted to vote for it. But it wasn't all the people in the riding that might not have voted for it because, well, natives don't vote. Same on the Northwest. I won't go on about the referendum. It's all quite sickening. It makes me not ashamed to be British Columbia, but it does again make me regret being from here. I had a nice talk with a Nova Scotian today outside of Walmart, Cleven. And he just got back from Halifax. You know, I heard him mention the 902 area code. We got talking, you know, you know. And, you know, we got talking about the world and all that, about this place versus that place, Halifax versus here, you know. I miss Halifax. God damn your weather, though, Hallie. You know, I'd live there if not, and there's some of the bullshit that happened out of the gym on Quinpool, I won't want to go into it. But yeah, there were issues that made me leave Halifax, issues why I couldn't tack around the valley. You know, I kind of should have come back to Clare instead of going to St. John's. I see that now, and I kind of, some players there, I'd like to be around more. They know who they are, right? And yeah, je parle français bien, c'est assez bien pour moi habiter en français pour quelques fois. I'm saying is, yeah, it'd be a good thing for me to be living in French for a while. And the Bay of Fundy is really, really beautiful, but it's not going to be spring until May. Holy cow. And then summer is brief, winters are fierce, and it's spread out. Without a car, Clare is as impractical as anywhere in BC. But Canyon Alpine, the more I think about it, for a few months, at least, or for the summer, there's going to be fires again, knowing that area had them, and there's all kinds of interesting geology there, and things I could do articles on or video vlogs on. History too, actual locations right there at Canyon Alpine and the old zoo. There's an old Fraser Canyon Zoo there. I don't know what's there now, probably deer. And Boston Bar is really pretty, so is North Bend, you know. And yeah, I could do Central Fraser Canyon series of vlogs maybe for funding. And there is like a Travel the Canyon group. I'm a good host. Give me some script, I'll deliver them for you. And I look the part. Dress me up in the 49ers outfit, you know. Or rather, no, I'm French, give me some Métis outfit, give me a Métis outfit. You know, I'm a Voltigeur who deserted Victoria for the gold bars, say. That'll be my role. En tant français, je peux fonctionner. I can say I can function in French. It's a good idea. You see, I come up with good ideas after I'm playing, right? And talking about the things I need to do, right? So anyways, maybe Canyon Alpine it is. Where I saw today was okay, but it's a small house with 5 guys in it, including me and a big dog. Real chill place, but small kitchen. It would be real cramped quarters for big guys, even though guys are mostly not home. The psychological space, 5 males in one place. No, I don't think it's a good idea. So Canyon Alpine, I could live by myself. And all organic. And no city noise, no bullshit. No crackheads hanging out. Not that I don't have crackhead and mess head friends, okay? They're all people too. I'm not a hater like the white people. I call them the white people the white people in Maple Ridge. By them I mean the well-off people. They're not necessarily white, but the upper middle class culture of Maple Ridge establishment, the white people. But this was always a really, really Anglo-Saxon town. Mission was a lot more diverse. I won't get into all the different ethnicities in the valley. And Carla and I were discussing today on the drive out about the disappearing neighborhood, Cedar Valley, you know, Keystone, Silver Hill, the different parts of Silver Hill. I drove up Silver Hill Road and saw a view of the Stave Valley, which is the Fraser Valley Greenbelt. I don't know. Maybe moving to Mission would be good. I kind of where that house was kind of intriguing to live in Hasek, and it's all like level ground towards town on with the scooter. But yeah, too crowded house. But on the other hand, you know, living in Canyon Alpine, I could get to Chilliwack when I need to. And I know if I had a problem, somebody would get me to Fraser Canyon Hospital and hope, you know. It's not that far, half an hour, maybe, you know, well, 45 in bad weather. bad traffic or something, but there's hardly any traffic in the canyon. The canyon is part of my childhood, partly, because we always traveled through it in the old 55 wagon, brown with all the canvas water bags on the chrome, you know. And what Jackass Mountain was like in China Bar Bluff before the new tunnels and before that highway, it's hard to describe to anybody who didn't see British Columbia in the old days. Same with the Mission Mountain Road as it used to be, and the Moha Road, which is Road 40 up from Lillooet Northwest. I was telling Calvin about this spot between Moha and the dam, Terasagi Dam. There's a spot where you couldn't get a camper on a truck past this rock overhang that went over the whole both lanes of the road. They brought the mountainside was like thousands of feet above, right? And they had almost like a semi-tunnel under it. So they blasted that off after the Forest Act of 1976, which gave all the land set aside for land claims over to the timber industry as timber supply and timber supply areas and so on. They blasted those cliffs off, and after that, that's when you saw the first great logging clear cuts, and the loggings encroached right into the proposed provincial park on purpose. It was desecration. They did this all. The loggers even threatened the two little resorts in the area and demanded they wanted to make Road 40 into a radio-only road. It's a provincial highway connecting established towns, and the forest industry they talk about shared use, but they had this attitude towards that. Anyways, I can't remember the hundreds of millions of dollars that were spent and how many hundreds of millions of dollars were taken out of that one valley. The road spent just on road construction alone, which was a tax write-off for the companies, was in the 9 figures. You know, I don't know how much came out just in that one area, that one Yalcum timber supply area. I don't know what the actual output was. That's an interesting question. How many $1 billion came out of that just in trees in how many years? So fall down happened quickly. Fall down means they ran out of trees. And then they started hauling wood all the way from the Upper Goldbridge, way past Western Goldbridge, and Upper Slim Creek and stuff, which is way back up, the Upper Tyot and Upper Relay, all the way out to Ashcroft and Savannah to mills. And that's like a 130-mile run or something like that. And that's on old Highway 12. These guys were making a few $100s a day back in the early 1980s. One of my best friends up there, John Backerman, how I got to know him was hitching. And yeah, these guys drove that and made money, and they have a certain lifestyle, they expect more of it. But anyways, you know, that when that rock bluff came off, that's one of the most spectacular parts of BC. It's been undermarketed, so that's why, you know, vlogging about there, and the canyon needs it too, because the canyon towns, all of them, Yale, Boston Bar, Kanaka Bar, Spence's Bridge, Shaw Springs, Lytton, I mentioned the other ones already, you know, they were Siska. They used to have a more thriving economy because it was the Trans-Canada Highway, but now all the traffic, most of the traffic to the interior, other than freight trucks, right, goes through the Coquihalla. And it's really a pity because the Fraser Canyon has been straightened a lot. It's lost a lot of, I guess you could call it, its old charm. Its rusticness that it used to have before the straightenings. And there was the first straightening in the 50s, 60s, early 60s, and they straightened it again in the 70s and so on. You know, the highways have been constantly improved from what they used to be in British Columbia, but we were like Mexico before W.A.C. Bennett got busy building highways. That's the one thing I'll say for that man. He and Phil Ghilardi, they built highways. They built good highways. Not as good as the United States. You can tell right away when you get on interstate how quality is, and streets in the U.S. are much better. Same in Alberta, because they don't have to deal with the terrain. They have more budget there. But yeah, anyways, all very interesting. So maybe Canyon Alpine it is, but you never know. Performance Arts Clubs may call tomorrow and say, hey Mike, we're going to take it. And that's right down Cole Harbour. So I know where I'll wind up. This place in New West I got to look at. I think I'll pass on the place I saw today. The place at Port Moody is right by the coal, the sulfur piles, and the intersection in Barnett. And so I maybe nastier to get in and out of the house because all the traffic. And not quite next to SkyTrain like it could be. And then the other place in New West, I'm going to have a look at it. Have another look at it and see what else is around there. And the College Place Inn is $1,000 a week in the summer. That's an old like rubby hotel where, you know, you used to be able to go get an SRO. So it had been an SRO, and then it became like a college dorm during college residence a little bit. And that became called the College Place. Had a strip bar in the main floor. And very old established beer parlor from the old days, you know, it became a strip bar. And I don't know what it was before the College Place, they renamed it, because it's right by Douglas College. Anyway, it's all fancy condos now, and all done up, all heritage, beautiful. $1,000 a week, great for tourists. But New West is a place for tourists to go to. Well, maybe, and maybe with more people like me could afford to live there, make it more interesting for the people coming in. But Soho, it's not. But there's also not the money in the arts industry in Vancouver that there is in Soho or in fashion or any of that stuff. So I'm going to shut up and play one more thing. And I should have said something in French, but I'm not going to right now. To the far country, oh, that's where I'll go. And if you come with me, then I would know that the sky, oh, the sky, oh, the sky is made out of blue. Oh, the sky. Oh, the sky, made out of blue. In the distance, for the rain, I hear my conscience crying in pain. Going far, far away, lies land rain, and the sky. The sky is made out of blue. The sky, oh the sky, oh the sky is made out of blue. That's missing one of its usual verses. I'm turning the stove on just to reheat what I had on there. It's got plenty of heat. More beautiful than the first light on mountain at the dawn. There is nothing so bittersweet as the sound of children playing on the lawn. All my days I lived a worried old. All my days I had many cares. All my days I let go worry, and now I don't have and stare. There's nothing more like the mountains at the dawn. There is nothing so true and sweet as the taste of dew from the lawn. All my days I had so worried, all my days I had too many cares. One day I gave up all my resolve, then I gave up all that was there. There's nothing more beautiful than the first light of mountains at the dawn. There's nothing so bittersweet as the sound of a loved one who's gone. When I dream, I hear the sound of the ones who are long gone. Oh, the sound is bittersweet because all they are gone. There is nothing more beautiful than the first sight of mountains at the dawn. Long gone I found again, where I came from. There's nothing more beautiful than the first light of mountains on the dawn. Stars fade, then life yet goes on. All I know when I hear the sound of all my dreams, all the days undone that are gone, they can mean all to me. For nothing is more beautiful than the first light of mountains at the dawn. Oh yeah, then the mountains, they call me home. So that was trying to sing that made me realize, yeah, Canyon Alpine it might be. I think that might be just what I need for a few months until somewhere better like Pala comes up, or somewhere I get in on a list somewhere that's cheaper. But if I'm going to pay $675 rather than pay $575 to certainly live with 5 other guys or in a family home, have to adapt, then I get it by myself making this kind of noise and write all day and probably have some pretty interesting people around, beautiful mountains around me. And probably, yeah, there's no food bank, but I don't think I'd go hungry there. So to keep me from temptation, including buying stupid things like the GoPro, I got to go take back tomorrow and get myself a decent little laptop that I had my on. Why I didn't think that the day that happened was, well, that was somebody who suggested me the GoPro, and my mind would got fixated on it. And I forgot to take my head, doing my head shake, and go to the guy at the shop here in Haney and not make the trip into Metrotown. But then I wouldn't have bought the whistle I'd built in. You see, so everything, good things come with difficulties. It's always the way. So anyways. train was gone. I should have stayed, oh, but I was gone, and now I never saw you again. We talked long by the phone. I said, come down over there, come down where it's warm, oh, and if you could die, do it some night. You said, don't worry, you were fine in the land of ice. So I am mighty, I live on. You signed out early, and I was gone. On the beach I talked to you, in the stars and the rain, oh, and I told you why I have wished I'd seen you again, oh, the train, oh, is leaving in the morn, but already I can hear the horn, oh, if I'd be mighty, I'd know the song to tell you tale, but oh, how it would have to be so long. 4 years and more you're gone from all the rest of your youth, and I never saw you was able to tell you the truth. If I was mighty, I'd have remembered to return your call. All the heat and the moment, oh, I forgot it all. I tried again the next day, there was no reply. You told me, don't try the number that you'd had all the fire. Then as I heard you calling on Ramadan, I said that 18 in the night of the Holy Ghost, I held your hand. And I heard you died, and I knew the truth, that you'd had too much of that thing that they call you. Leaving in the morning, can you hear the sound of the train roll? I want to leave again the land where it rains. I see everywhere, I see your memory. See your times and all, wherever you saw it, my Jeffy. Lost the sound. because I was focusing on the oscillations of the amp, I lost the attempted, the natural thing that was going to happen. And I mentioned my friend's name, which was my best friend who killed himself in the summer of 2014 while I was in Folsom Lee. And I'd forgotten to return his call. After getting it, saying, I'll call you back 10 minutes, and I got distracted when I got home. And, well, he died. And I was in Penang for Eid al-Fitr, which is the end of Ramadan. And also it was the Chinese Night of the Hungry Ghosts. And he was on my mind, you know, in a big way. And then once I found out he died, I went to the beach and just talked to him. I talked to him, I berated him for booking out, that people loved him. There's people that loved him in this world, you know, and he hurt everybody. And suicide does that, people, right? My best friend was strong. I thought one of the strongest individuals I knew was weak inside because of the horrible things that could happen to him as a child. And the things he'd done as an adult, which bothered him, because he was actually a really good soul who did some very bad things. My brother Jeffrey. The kind of brother my parents never had for me. So, one of many rough and tumble friends I've had. Not all of them good people. Jeff is a good man. Anyway, he's gone. He's gone. That song was for him just now. If I Would Be Mighty. It's called, and it's also called Blue Sky. And the opening theme was called Quinpool Road. I used to play it in the sunshine walking up Quinpool to the gym on my strolls around Halifax with my guitar on. Gone are the days. That's partly what that song is about too, that I can't wear the weight anymore. I can't bear the weight of the guitar. So anyways, that was a good session. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like playing a tiny bit of whistle first, maybe before I book out here. Since I've got this running, I'm going to edit all this stuff now anyway. I'm not going to post whole sets, that way people don't hear the good songs. And I got to set the screen better somehow. Maybe get a thing where I can have it vertical and not have it cut this way and do it this way. I need another selfie stick or something else to prop it on, or a tripod. So anyways,